Shouldn't all state assembly members cancel their voter registration? Yes, they have to. This goes back to the requirements that all the actual land and soil jurisdictions, state governments have forbidding dual citizenship. You are either in or out. So far as the states are concerned, the territorial and municipal governments both allow dual citizenship. But in establishing and operating the state juror assemblies, we have to work for our state and conduct its business. This goes back to the principle of checks and balances. You can't allow your employees to write their own job descriptions, set their own pay and benefits, and supervise all their own activities, which is precisely what has been going on in this country for far too long. The territorial and municipal governments are both supposed to be dependent on the states to ride herd on their spending and activities. We are supposed to be holding them to their obligations under the terms of the Constitution that apply to them. In 1868, approximately 9 million Americans were disenfranchised as the original federal state of states were mothballed and the territorial states of states were substituted virtually. Nobody understood what was actually going on because of the deceitfully similar names employed. The state of Maine versus the state of Maine, for example. However, in fact, this change meant that people were forced to give up their voting rights as shareholders in one set of corporations and to either accept or forego voting rights in a new set of corporations. When people transferred their voting rights to the interlopers, they unwittingly entered a new jurisdiction, that of the British territory, United States, and lost their birthright position on the land and soil jurisdiction of the state by unconsciously accepting dual citizenship. They lost their ability to function as state electors as a direct result and became British subjects. This is precisely what the king wanted and what he achieved via fraud and unconscionable contracts and gross breach of trust. Millions of Americans were thus converted from their natural birthright political status and subjected to the whims of the British king without their knowledge or consent, simply by doing their duty and continuing to vote in what appeared to be normal public elections. That was the first great fraud against the American states and people, carried out by our own paid military and federal municipal employees and our international trustees. The British monarch and the Pope, both of whom were and are completely culpable. So yes, all state assembly members must cancel and expunge all voter registrations and cannot continue to vote in these foreign corporation elections without accepting dual citizenship and thereby making themselves ineligible to function as state citizens. You may think, but that's crazy. I won't be able to control who's in the White House or in the territorial Congress. I will be giving up what little bit of influence I have on the direction of this country is heading. Remember that their system is all rigged and set up two gangs. Your vote determines very little in their matrix. And since the advent of hackable, die-bold voting machines, your vote arguably determines nothing at all.